So there's more to come tonight. I'm going to talk to you about Vanuatu, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the freedom of Kiha. And this is a story that I've already recorded, and it's on the Seven Sisters Prophecy Bandcamp, and you can download it for free. And it's a really amazing story about how I helped to free the Mo'o Kiha, who is one of my family Amakua now. So I'm going to talk to you about Vanuatu. And the reason I'm going to talk to you about Vanuatu is because at the beginning of 2018, I think it was January 2018, before I had brought through the quantum frequency technologies, I didn't really start bringing through the QFT until the end of 2018, about December. So this was the beginning of 2018, and I had been introduced to an amazing scientist and being that invented the first sovereign silver company called Sovereign Silver. And his name is Stefan Quinto. And he found out about me and found out about my work and my abilities to create multidimensional fields around an environment on a property, on a land. So we had some Skype calls, and he said, okay, I'll get you on a plane, we'll get you over here, and you can come to the land and do your work there and set up this 5D field around this property that I've been given by the chiefs in Vanuatu, one of the chiefs in Vanuatu. So I'm always up for an adventure and a challenge, and he seemed like an okay being, you know, and the way that I had met him was a very trusted ally. So I fly to Vanuatu, go through Australia, land in Brisbane, and then I fly over to the little island of Vanuatu, Espiritu Santo it's called, the area where I was. And so I meet this guy, and for the first 3 days, he's like 78 years old. He downloads to me like the whole thing about silver and how it was going to help people against any man-made viruses. And so it was pretty cool because I had already been taking Sovereign Silver for a long time. I'm a strong believer in it. But after I met him, the source of the creator of it, you know, I definitely, I take it sometimes 7 times a day. And it's about the only thing I do other than the QFT, the frequencies. And the QFT can also enhance the silver particles to strengthen the properties of the antibiotic that colloidal silver is. So, you know, we start talking, and 3 days goes by, and he starts to realize, like, whoa, this is like a serious priestess I invited here. And he says, you know, there's a big problem happening here. And maybe I think maybe that's why I brought you here. I didn't realize that at first, but do you mind if I invite one of the chiefs of the island to come and talk to you about what's going on here? And And I was like, okay, sure, you know. And this was before we had gone up to his land, before I had blessed his land and done the 5D activation on his land. And so he invites this chief and his wife over, and they speak very good English. Melanesian people, very dark skinned people. And I guess he had told them that, I had some witchy powers or something. I would maybe be able to help them with the issue, the black magic issue going on. So I didn't really know what I was getting into, but when they sat down in front of me, I was like, okay, what's going on? And this was 2018. I was initiated in Africa in 2014, so I was already at that point 4 years into my initiation with Ifa and Oshun, a very, very practiced and skilled at communicating with spirits and communicating with the ancestors. So they started to tell me that their family was, being attacked, and that there was these spirits there. So the story is that they were twin brothers, and they came from France, and they basically, their spirits demonized after they died on that island. And one was good and one was bad, the general story of twins. And I guess the bad one had become worshipped on the island. And people were like offering something to this dark spirit, and the spirit would grant them things, like anything. Like, it was like they told me that there was their brother had died because somebody went to this spirit, gave them an offering, and wished for this guy to die. And he died. And so I was like, oh my God, what have I gotten myself into? So I said, let me go in my room. Just give me some time, right? So I went into my room, and I was sitting there, and my higher self says, get them to take you to the land where the spirit is. And go and talk to the spirit and ask what it wants. Because everything wants something, Whether it's good or bad, it wants something. And if you can find out what it wants and give it what it wants, then you can possibly elevate it, into a higher vibration, so it becomes a good energy instead of a bad energy. So they brought me out to their land, and oh my God, it was a 3-hour road down the rockiest road ever to the ocean side, and they lived in a hut, cooked on a fire. And they owned all this land. They own all this land in Vanuatu on this island. But they're haunted by this spirit. So I get a stick. I said, I need a big long stick. So they get me a big long stick. And I said, I need the men to stay here. I need this one, the mother to come with me. So I walked down to the ocean, and the mother came with me. She was around 50 or something, maybe 60. She was quite older. And she didn't speak as good English as the guy did, the man. But she spoke enough English to be able to tell me, well, this is where it comes up through the water. And, so I went to the water with the staff, which I made the stick be my staff. And I basically called Alavuru up through the water. That's the name they had given it. And I said, Alavuru, I need to talk to you. Come up. Come out of the water. I want to talk to you. And all of a sudden, this black snake comes out of the water, and it's a huge dragon-like snake. And it spins around, and the wind starts to blow. And things like start knocking over around me, like trees are blowing. And I said, no, I'm not here to hurt you. I just want to talk to you. I want to find out what is going on and why you're hurting people. And it said, well, nobody gave me any attention. And I said, okay, so what else? Like, why are you doing things that people are asking you to do that are harmful to people? And it said, well, we were the first settlers on this island, and nobody gave us any respect or honor, and nobody even remembers who we were, and we were the ones that came to this island first, And I was like, okay, so what else? Like, why are you causing harm to people? And the spirit of the snake got a little sad, and it said, well, they're the only ones that are giving me any attention. And I said, so what will it take? What will it take for you to stop hurting people and stop listening to these people and taking their offerings? And it told me, it said, well, I need a feast. I need to be fed, and I need to be honored. And I need a big fire. And I need a shrine put up for me and my brother. And I need people to be able to go there and read about us and know that we were here first. And I said, okay. And then I told him, I said, I don't know if I can get these people to do this, but I will try to. And I really, really hope that you will stop hurting the people. I'm going to do my best to get this message to the caretakers of this land now. But I can't be responsible for what they do or whether they do it or not. So this was really profound, and I said thank you for coming and talking to me. I give you respect. And it slithered down into the water. And the woman was so blown away because I was verbally speaking to this spirit. And she was just standing there holding space while I was speaking to the spirit. So I went back to the chief and I told him what Alavur had said. And I said, you need to have a feast for him and his brother. And you need to have a big fire. And you need to feed the fire. All these things. Like the snake wanted like huge squash, pumpkin, like all sorts of different vegetables and food. And he wanted them to feed it to the fire. And then I also told the chief, I said, if you want this to stop, you need to put a shrine up for them. And you need to put a plaque that says who they are. And that's what the Spirit has told me. And the guy, you know, he was like, oh, okay, we can do that. Yeah, we can do that. And so I cut my ties with the situation at that point because I was like, I'm not going to be responsible for what happens here, right? And then I got back to Stephen Quinto's house and I said, you need to put me in a hotel right now because I need to be alone. I can't do this work and, you know, be around anybody. So he put me in a hotel on the ocean side, and oh my God, the spirits just started coming out of every, excuse me, nook and cranny possible because they felt me there. They felt my presence, and I was able to lift many of them just using Archangel Michael and the techniques I know. How to lift earthbound spirits. There were over thousands of earthbound spirits stuck on this island. And spirits being used. See all my birds? My birds are like, yeah, this is a big story. I have birds. I have 5 birds, 5 doves. Well, they're rock doves. They're bigger than normal doves, as you can hear. They're like, so they're feeling the energy of this story anyway. And they're also helping to clear it, clear any energy around it. So basically, the volcanoes started to erupt around me. And there are many volcanoes, many volcanoes off the coast of Vanuatu. And all of these volcanoes started to erupt. And I was like, oh, uh-oh. So, you know, I just went into prayer, went into divination, what needs to happen. Okay, boom, boom, boom. All these spirits need to go home. They were all coming to the ocean side where I was. And I knew that. That's why I said to Stephen, I said, listen, you need to put me in a hotel. I can't be around anybody right now because there's something going to come and talk to me. There's a lot of things going on here on this island. So the reason why I'm telling you this story, anyway, I lifted probably over 6,000-7,000 spirits. But I couldn't do much about what the chief did with the information I gave him. You know, I told him how serious it was. I said, if you really want this to stop, this is what you need to do. This is what the spirit has asked for. And, you know, I still don't know to this day whether they did it or not. So basically, I sat in this hotel cabin on the side of the ocean, this Melanesian island, haunted island, basically, just clearing hundreds and hundreds of spirits, earthbound spirits, and they were coming. Because in the ancestors' realm, it's like a web, you know, it's like a communication web. If they find somebody or if they know somebody's there that can help them, they're all going to show up. And that's what happened to me. I was like, okay, I need space because I know something's coming, right? So I just continued to lift them with the angels, I can continue to lift them, as the beaches would fill up with these earthbound spirits who had been sacrificed, who had died, because this island as well, a stitch I dropped, Vanuatu, was the chief that I was introduced to, and that I told this what he had to do to appease this spirit. His father was the chief out of all of the Melanesian islands that put an end to human sacrifice. So there was some heavy-duty karma on this island. Like, whoa, I did not know what I was walking into. So I went somewhere. Oh, I gotta stop that. I went somewhere in a cab one day, and the cab said, "Oh, have you been to the Holy Water Spring?" And I was like, "No, what Holy Water Spring, right?" And he said, "Oh, I'll bring you there right now." So there is a holy water spring in Vanuatu, Espiritu Santo. And the water that comes out of this spring heals all sorts of things. It heals lepers. So I went and stood. This was like the day before I left the island. I went and stood on this water, and oh my God, it was the most profound experience of my life as far as water. And I also got an opportunity to swim in a blue hole in Vanuatu, and it was the most amazing feeling I've ever felt in my life. So there were some good things that happened, but this video is long, 22 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to get to the point of why I brought this up. Black magic, witchcraft, all these things going on. I'm a law holder, a spiritual law holder initiated by the Ogbone people in Africa. And what law holders do and what they're supposed to do, other law holders in other countries that have the role of law holder, is they're supposed to oversee what's going on with magic and witchcraft. And major problems on this planet going on right now because of people's desire and want and selfishness and doing black magic to get what they want. And they are opening portals and calling up demons, and Satan is running amok all over this planet because people are irresponsibly doing magic. Okay? So this is the reason I brought Vanuatu into the story. Because black magic is very real. And it's part of the problem right now on this planet. And the QFT, I've also got frequencies in there that you can use to clear yourself of black magic if you've been affected by it, or the evil eye, or anything like that. You just have to look for them. And use your intention. Use your brainwaves. Use your thought. Use your focus. Use your heart. The quantum frequency technology is very heart-based. If you're in your heart, you can heal something miraculously in a minute. Okay, I'm going to go. 24 minutes.